Chapter 11. The next morning, Fiona and I ran into Annie and Gisela in the courtyard. You guys were awesome, I tell them. So funny. The word, Annie says with a haughty look, is lively. Yes, Gisela says, looking down her nose at me. We are lively. Indeed, I say with a laugh. And funny too. Chandler joins us and I say, Spiritfit, you were on TV. I looked good too, didn't I? She says with a grin, then hugs me. Girl, I'm so happy for you. You are going to have that running leg in no time. Then Mario and Graham and Melanie and Colin and a bunch of other track people join us, and our little gathering turns into a full-on celebration. The whole day is like that. It's really upbeat, really fun. If Miss Ruka manages to say something nice, well for her anyway. I hope your parents found a good lawyer. The situation's ridiculous. Then she gets back to business, arching one eyebrow as she zeroes in on me. Next note you pass puts you back in your assigned seat. I grin at her. Yes, ma'am. There's an odd sort of twitch at the corner of her mouth before she turns and walks to the front of the classroom. Rosa has rolled up in the middle of this, and when Miss Luca is far enough away, she whispers, Was that a smile? That may be as close as she gets, I whisper back. Rosa pulls her behind the binder out of a saddlebag. Gavin came into our lunchroom today. He was looking for you. What? He did? I'm embarrassed by how excited I sound. Uh-huh. She gives me a lopsided smile. He's really cute. I tone things way down. He has a girlfriend, Rosa, a really pretty one. Meryl, I know. She eyes me. He could do a lot better. The tardy bell rings, and Miss Ruka wastes no time announcing that there will be a test on Friday. I groan because I'm not ready for a test, not even close. So I really try to focus on the lesson, but I'm having trouble keeping up with Miss Ruka's overheads. Rosa slips me a note. Come over tonight. I'll help you. I nod and put the note away, and that night after dinner, that's exactly what I do. Are you sure you don't want a ride? My mother asks as I'm heading out the door. I'm sure. It's nearby and Sherlock needs a walk. They won't mind him being with you. Rosa loves Sherlock. She's following me down the walkway. Tell me again who Rosa is. And how does she know Sherlock? Mom, stop. It's fine. Everything's fine. Her last name is Brazzi. She's a math genius, and she lives on Marigold Street. I call you from her house, okay? She lets me go, and as Sherlock and I play frisbee along the way, I'm really glad I didn't accept a ride. The air's cool, but not cold, and with the days growing longer, there's still plenty of sunlight and lots of spring color everywhere. Rosa's mother is as happy about me arriving as mine was worried about me leaving. Jessica, she says after Rosa has let me in, I feel like I know you from the paper and the news. She eyes her daughter, and of course Rosa has told me all about you. She makes me bring Sherlock in off the porch. We can't have him miss the party. I laugh. Doing math does not exactly qualify as a party. But to the two of them it seems to. There's a spread of snacks ready on the kitchen table with bright blue paper plates and napkins. This should keep your math energies high, Rosa's mom says. I do remember to call my mom, and as I'm getting ready to hang up, Rosa's mom says she'd really like to say hello to her. So I turn the phone over and she takes it into another room to talk while Rosa helps me tackle math at their kitchen table. Over the next 2 hours, we submerge ourselves in finding the sums of infinite geometric series, calculating iterate functions, and explaining powers of binomials. We also managed to eat most of what's on the table. Finally, Sherlock seems to sense that I've had about all the math I can take for one night, because he nudges me from under the table, where he's been called up, and lets out a little "Alloo!" Rosa laughs. I love the way he talks to you. Sherlock's head pops up between us, and after Rosa's had a chance to nuzzle with him, I collect my things and say, "All right, boy, let's get going." "If you come back tomorrow," Rosa says, "I'll give you a pre-test." "What do you mean?" "Miss Ruka is very predictable." "She is?" "I'll make you a test," she says with a nod. "I'll be a lot like hers. You will see. If she's willing to do that, I'm willing to try." "Okay," I tell her. "Same time?" "Same time," she says with a smile. I thank Rosa and her mom for having me, then head home in the cool night air. The house is quiet when I get home. It's all so dark, except for a little light coming from the kitchen. "Mom?" I call. "I'm home." "In here," comes a voice from the family room. I find her sitting sideways on the couch, hugging a pillow. I click on a lamp. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," she says with a sigh. Then she tilts her head and asks, "Why didn't you tell me that Rosa has cerebral palsy?" I sit down beside her and take a deep breath. "I was going to, but why didn't you?" I don't really know where to begin on this. It's been a feeling more than a rational thing, but it's true. I haven't wanted to mention it. I shake my head. "Rosa and I write notes in class." She waits. So I didn't talk to her at all before I lost my leg. I ignored her. But now I lift my backpack and zip open the smallest pouch. Sometimes she writes things. I pull out my growing collection of her notes. They are little scraps, half-sheet stripes. It's a mess, really. It looks like a small pile of garbage. "You kept them?" she asks. I don't really know how to explain it. I sifted through the notes. She has a way of. I look up at Mom. It's like she opens my eyes. Mom considers this a moment. "Can you give me an example?" I'm sifting through the notes again. "Here," I say, pulling one out. She asked me if he could change one thing, what would it be? I look up from the note. Not like a wish. It had to be something real. "And what did you say?" "That I could run again." But when I asked her the same thing, she said, I turned to the note, that people would see me, not my condition. We are both quiet a minute, and then Mom asked, "Do you feel bad because you didn't do that before?" I almost say yes, but I stop, and in that moment I understand why I keep Rosa's notes. "Not anymore," I say quietly. "I feel good because now I do." Chapter 12. After Rosa's done putting me through my paces the next night, I feel really confident. "You will get an A tomorrow," she tells me. I snort. "There will be a first, but not a last." She's smiling. "You want to come in at lunch for review?" "I may just do that," I tell her, because I'm making the connection between training to break a league record and training to ace a math test. Repetition, effort, pain, success. There really is no shortcut. So the next day I go to room 402 at lunch and do my best to volley back right answers to Rosa's ad-lib math problems. She baits me to make mistakes by giving problems with my most common weakness, but I pull through okay. When the warning bell rings, she tells me, "You will be great. You will do great." But it isn't until math class is over that I believe her. "How was it?" she asks when the tests are all collected. I'm afraid to say, Easy? Yes, she says, and surprises me with a first bump. We hang around and talk over some of the problems, and then Fiona pops her head inside the classroom. You ready? She asks. Oh, I forgot. I turn to Rosa. Fiona's taking me to Hankenstein's today. It should be my last fine turning for a while. Have fun, she says, and her face has suddenly gone mischievous. I turn around and discover that Gavin is now standing in the doorway behind Fiona. How would you feel about Gavin coming along? Fiona asked, her eyebrows going all wiggly. She's obviously trying to do me a favor. It's okay to say no, Gavin says over Fiona's shoulder. You can go, Rosa tells him. I turn to her and whisper, What? Which makes her break out giggling. I don't know, I tell Gavin, but Fiona's giving me a secret fierce look, and I'm feeling a little heady and odd. And they are all staring at me. So I say, whatever. If you are sure you want to find, then I turn to Rosa and whisper, I'm going to sing Sherlock on you this weekend. She giggles some more. See ya, Rosa. Fiona falls, and Gavin chimes in with bye, Rosa, as we leave the classroom. Bye, guys, she calls. Her voice is happy, but it leaves a little arch in my heart. She's the one I'd like to take along. Chapter 13. Chloe is happy to see that I've got company, and when I make the introductions, she's excited to find out that Gavin is the one who wrote the newspaper article. It was awesome, she tells him, then goes on to say how she'll caught the story on TV. My friends and I are all rooting for you, she tells me with a big, warm smile. Thank you, I answer, but I feel a twinge of selfishness. She is so kind and attentive. It makes it easy to forget that she'd had to go through an amputation and rehabilitation too, not to mention cancer. I change into shorts, and when I return to the waiting room, Chloe says, Hank's ready for you. Are you all coming in back or just Jessica? Everyone looks at me. Do you want to? I ask. They say they do, and I guess I feel bad making them stay in the waiting room, so I shrug and say, okay. And it would have been okay, except that after Hank tells me how great the TV news story was, the first thing he does is check my socket fit. He makes me sit down and take off the suspension sleeve, and then he grabs the socket part of my leg and moves it around. You are loose. We need to get you into thicker socks. Off come the leg and the liner. Off come the socks and the nylon. Suddenly, I am feeling very self-conscious. Naked. Fiona looks down, and Gavin turns away and says that way. I am reminded of how awful it looks. It's not red and swollen. It just looks like flesh. But it's still very graphic, very gone. And all of a sudden, I'm mortified. Why in the world did I let them come back here? Fiona's fine, but Gavin? I'm desperate to get this over with, to cover up, to get out of here. Hank has me try on different thickness of socks until he's satisfied that my socket fits right. Then we start with the adjustment. I wish for music, conversation, sound of any kind. Finally, Gavin breaks the silence, but he looks at Hank, not me. I saw a man at the airport once who had art painted on his prosthetic leg. It was a sunrise and the ocean. It looked really cool. Wow, Fiona says, then asks Hank, can you do that? I can do fabric, he says as I begin a test work for him. Fabric? Fiona asks. What do you mean? Any piece of cloth. It only takes about half a yard. When I worked in San Francisco, people brought in school fabric, dolphin fabric, tie-dye, camel fabric, you name it. Around here, our clients tend to be more conservative. When I turn around, he catches my eye. We could do that with your definitive leg if you want. It doesn't cost anything extra. I just embed the cloth when I'm making the circuit. Fiona's all excited. We should go to the fabric store and pick out something really cool. You could do frames or flowers or just a solid like a hot pink. I'm holding still now as Hank's twinking the adjustment of my top coupling. But I really just want a leg that looks like a leg. I don't want frames or flowers, and I sure don't want pink. Hank says, well, we can't order your permanent leg until your residual limb is completely stabilized. So you have a couple of months to decide if you want a cosmetic cover or an exposed artistic socket. Maybe consider it for your running leg. Suddenly, frames seemed like a really cool idea. I grinned at Fiona that I could get into. On our way out, Gavin holds doors open for me and makes sure I'm safely in the car before closing my door and getting in back. Well, I say as Fiona's driving out of the parking space. Thanks for taking me, I turn to Gavin. I hope it didn't freak you out too much. Not at all, he says. So where am I dropping you? Fiona asks, looking in her rear view mirror. Home, if you don't mind, Gavin replied. He's just a few blocks past me, I offer. I glance over the hard headrest. I used to run by your house to get down to the river. I've seen you, he says. You've got a cool dog. Shallow, I laugh. He laughs too, and your cool dog has a cool name. Fiona drives to my house, and it's strange I'm laughing and joking with Gavin like we've been friends forever. And when we get to my house, I'm feeling flushed. Happy. I know he has a girlfriend, but he's being really nice to me. Why did he want to go to the Hankensteins? It couldn't just be scientific curiosity. He gets out of the back seat while I maneuver out of the front, and he holds the door open for me. Thanks, I tell him with a smile. Sure, he says. Thanks for letting me tag along. Then I watch from the sidewalk as he gets into the front passenger seat and drives away with my best friend.